Very good morning, all of you. Welcome to Fluid Mechanics and Hydraulics Machinery class. In last class, I was discussed about viscosity and surface tension. In today class, I'll discuss about capillarity. Capillarity. Before going to that, see when you take a small diameter tube, when you insert that small diameter tube in a liquid pool. See all of you, I am taking a glass small diameter glass tube. I am taking a small diameter glass tube. Now I am going to insert that small diameter glass tube in a liquid pool. Then the liquid level automatically either rise or either fall inside the glass tube relative to the liquid level of pool. This phenomena is called as capillarity. Once again, I remind that one. When you insert a small diameter glass tube vertically in a liquid pool, then the liquid level in the glass tube either fall or either rise relative to the uh, level of liquid in the pool. That phenomena is called as capillarity. Now we'll see the definition of capillarity. Same thing what I have mentioned, same thing I wrote here. Capillarity is defined as a phenomena of rise or fall of liquid surface in a small glass tube relative to the adjacent level of liquid when the tube is held or placed vertically in the liquid. This is called capillarity. Same thing what I mentioned. When you see rise of liquid level surface, that is called as capillary rise. When you see fall of liquid surface in the glass tube, which is called as capillary depression. There are two terms to be noted down here. One is capillary rise, second one is capillary depression. When you see the rise of liquid level in the glass tube, called as capillary rise. When you see the fall of liquid surface or level in the glass tube, called capillary depression. How does it take place? See all of you, it is mainly based on adhesion and cohesion, adhesive forces and cohesive forces. Now let us consider a liquid. Let directly you take water. Now I am taking a water container in which I am going to place a glass tube vertically in the water container. Now what happens? Automatically the water level rises in the glass tube up to certain limit. That level is called as capillary rise. How does it take place? See all of you here, uh, uh, with the diagram I will show that one. See, I took water in the container in diagram A. Water in the container. Below that I have inserted a glass tube in the water. See all of you, now the water level rises in the glass tube. If you observe carefully, inside the water we have number of molecules. Between molecules we have attractive forces. From molecule to molecules we have attractive forces. Those forces are called as cohesive forces. Correct? Yes. Now one more force is there. Water molecule to glass tube, there is one more attractive force called as adhesive force. When adhesive force is stronger than cohesive force, see all of you, the attraction between glass tube and liquid molecule is stronger than the attraction between liquid molecules, then automatically that liquid wets the solid surface. Solid surface means a glass tube. That liquid means water wets the solid surface or glass tube. In such a case, automatically the rise of liquid takes place in the glass tube. Rise of liquid surface. Such phenomena is called as capillary rise. So, in particular liquids, that adhesive forces are stronger compared to cohesive forces. Go for second diagram B. Here I took mercury. In mercury case, adhesive forces are weaker, or cohesive forces are stronger than adhesive forces. How? See all of you in down diagram, in bottom diagram. Here the attraction between two mercury molecules, the attractive forces called cohesive forces between two mercury molecules are stronger compared to the attraction or attractive forces between liquid molecule and glass tube. So in this case, the liquid does not wet the solid surface or glass tube. In such a case, the liquid, means mercury, does not wet that solid surface. In such a situation, the liquid automatically falls down in the glass tube. The fall of liquid surface takes place. Such a phenomena is called as capillary depression. This is an example. So, mercury always gives capillary depression, water gives capillary rise. There are different fluids are available. Based on the fluid property, it will be taking place. Now, again, we'll move to previous slide. Same thing I mentioned here. See all of you in third point. If the attraction called adhesion between water of the tube and liquid molecules is stronger than the attraction called cohesion of liquid molecules, the liquid wets the solid surface. Same point I mentioned in the diagram. If cohesive forces are stronger than adhesive forces, then the liquid does not wet the solid surface. Example mercury, just now I explained. Generally, this capillarity is expressed in terms of mm or centimeter units. Hmm? Its value depends on different things. So I mentioned here what are the specific weight of the liquid, diameter of the tube, and surface tension. These are the things on which the capillarity is mainly based. So here, just now I discussed this diagram. Capillary rise in case of water, we have seen h, height h, which is always greater than 0. Capillary rise greater than the main level. In case of mercury, capillary depression, which is less than 0. Hmm? Capillary depression. So how can we determine or how can we derive an equation for capillary rise or capillary depression? We'll see now. And one more point to be discussed here, phi. See all of you in the diagrams A and B, I mentioned angle phi. Phi is a contact angle between liquid surface and glass tube. The contact angle. When phi value is less than 90 degrees, that liquid wets solid surface. When phi value crosses 90 degrees, that liquid does not wet solid surface. This is one more way to be discussed, to explain. Now we'll go for how can we derive an equation for capillary rise or capillary depression. First of all, I'll talk about capillary rise. Let's consider a container in which liquid is placed. A vertical glass tube with a small diameter has been placed in the container, like what I mentioned in the diagram. So I'm going to talk about capillary rise. That's why rise of liquid takes place in the glass tube, which is mentioned as H, capillary rise H. So finally you have to find out equation for H. So inside the glass tube we have water, and surface tension automatically takes place here, which is denoted by sigma. Theta is contact angle between liquid surface in a glass tube. So D is diameter of tube. The liquid level will rise in the tube above the level of liquid. Let H is height of liquid called capillary rise. So under the state of equilibrium, see here two forces are acting. If you observe carefully, one is tensile force, which is based on surface tension. Another one is pressure force, which is mainly based on amount of pressure acting on the liquid on particular area. So pressure force, and second one is surface tension as a tensile force due to surface tension. These two are always balanced, and always opposite. If you observe this diagram, surface tension is acting upward direction. So automatically the pressure force acting towards downward direction to be balanced that one. Now let us discuss about notation. Sigma, surface tension of liquid. Theta, angle of contact between liquid and glass tube. The weight of the liquid of height h in the tube W is given by, just now I told you, this is nothing but pressure force. So W is equal to amount of pressure into area of the tube. Pressure directly we can write as rho gh, which is called as hydrostatic law. So, so pressure is equal to rho gh, that will be discussed in the topic of pressure. So P is equal to rho gh. Directly you can write. Rho means density of particular fluid what we use in the glass tube. So area of the glass tube pi by 4 d square. Pressure can be written as rho gh. And h is nothing but amount of head called capillary rise. G gravitational constant, rho density. Same thing I wrote here. So the vertical component of tensile force. The second force is tensile force due to surface tension, which is nothing but sigma into circumference pi d. But you have to consider that contact angle. When you consider that contact angle, if you go in vertical direction, sigma circumference into cos theta for vertical direction. So sigma into pi d cos theta. This is tensile force due to surface tension in vertical direction, and previous one was pressure force. Now, by equating these two forces, because these two are opposite, by equating these two forces, see all of you, pi by 4 d square rho gh on left hand side, and right hand side tensile force value sigma pi d cos theta, from which finally we get h is equal to 4 sigma cos theta by rho gd. 4 sigma cos theta by rho gd. Sigma surface tension, cos theta. Theta is a contact angle, rho density, g gravitational constant, d diameter of the glass tube. So by these values, we can determine the capillary rise. Next one is expression for capillary fall or depression. Again, I took diagram here. See all of you. So this is for capillary depression. H is less than 0, going downward from the standard level. Here, if you observe carefully, surface tension is going towards downward direction. So to balance that, pressure force will be acting towards upward direction. Let's see notation H, height of depression or capillary depression. Two forces I have mentioned here. One is tensile force and second one is pressure force. So the tensile force equation, same what I mentioned for rise, same equation, sigma pi d cos theta. Pressure force, pressure into area, pressure at particular height, pressure into area. So rho gh pi by 4 d square, that is standard one. So by equating these two, sigma pi d cos theta, tensile force due to surface tension, pressure force rho gh pi by 4 d square. So h is equal to 4 sigma by cos theta by rho gd. Equation does not change. Equation is same for both the cases, but here angle theta value changes. Theta for capillary rise case, theta value is always less than 90 degrees. When you go for capillary depression, theta value crosses 90 degrees. So based on that, h value changes. See, rho density of the fluid, G gravitational constant, D diameter of the tube, sigma surface tension. These are equations for capillary rise and capillary depression. So generally for mercury, the contact angle is 128 degrees, which is more than 90 degrees. For water, we consider that angle is approximately 0 degrees Celsius. When you consider theta as 0, the H value becomes for water 4 sigma by rho GD, because cos theta is equal to cos 0, 1. 4 sigma by rho GD we consider for water. Contact angle depends on both the liquid and the solid. Solid means glass tube what we have. So when is already this point already be discussed here. When theta value is less than 90 degrees, that liquid wets the solid. When theta value crosses 90 degrees, means more than 90 degrees, that liquid does not wet, that will be repelled by the solid. Same thing I mentioned in previous slide. So water wets glass, but not wax or not mercury. Mercury or wax, these are when you keep water, water does not wet the mercury substance. You go for mercury, mercury does not wet the glass like that. So this is capillarity. Now we'll discuss a problem on viscosity, then we'll close this class now. See all of you, viscosity problem. Now first of all, I gave here a problem. Read it all of you slowly. Read slowly. The space between two square flat parallel plates. I am reading the space between two square flat parallel plates is filled with the oil. Inside the problem, they gave two flat parallel plates. In between, we have some amount of oil between two plates. Each side of the plate is 60 mm. Side of the plate is 60. So this is square plate. So square means 60 by 60 is size of the plate. Two plates, 60 by 60 upper one, 60 by 60 bottom one. In between these two plates, we have some amount of oil. The thickness of the oil is mentioned as 12.5 mm. Thickness of the oil film is 12.5 mm. The upper plate, which moves at 2.5 meters per second, not bottom one, upper one is moving with a velocity 2.5 meters per second, requires a force of 98.1 newtons. uh, when it is moving with the help of force, that force value is mentioned as 98.1 newtons. So that force is called as shear force or tangential force to be moved with certain velocity. To maintain that speed, determine mainly two things to be required to calculate. One is the dynamic viscosity of the oil, what we have used between two plates. Dynamic viscosity symbol, we already know that symbol mu for dynamic viscosity. Second one is kinematic viscosity of the oil. You have to calculate second one, kinematic viscosity, symbol nu. So these two things you need to calculate. They mentioned that in second point, if the specific gravity of the oil is 0.95. So already I told you, if I have specific gravity, immediately one thing you should come in your mind is that density. If I know specific gravity, I can calculate density immediately, because density of particular oil equals to specific gravity and which is multiplied with standard fluid density called water 1000. Hmm? Like that, immediately we can determine that density of required oil. Now let us move into solve that solution, sorry, problem. Let us try to solve this one. Now I have prepared a diagram for this. See all of you, I have taken two plates, in between I maintained oil. Oil thickness is given 12.5 mm, and upper plate is trying to move with a velocity 2.65 seconds, sorry, meters per second. Force with the help of force 98.1 newton value. Now what is the data is given here? Each side of the square plate means area, sorry, side 60 centimeters, that is nothing but 0.6 meters. What about the area of the plate? 60 centimeters by 60 centimeters, or zero point 0.6 by 0.6 meters square. Finally, that value is 0.36 meters square. That is area of the plate. Thickness of oil film, nothing but dy, thickness, small thickness dy is equal to 12.5 mm, nothing but 12.5 in 10 power minus 3 meters. Velocity of upper plate u is equal to 2.5 meters per second. Now what about change in velocity? Upper plate is going with 2.65, not 2, sorry, 2.5, not 2.65, 2.5 meters per second. Bottom one is constant 10. So the change in velocity du is equal to 2.5 meters per second. 2.5 meters per second. That is change in velocity. Now, change in velocity, they mentioned 2.5 meters per second. The force required for upper plate, which is acted on upper plate, is 98.1 newtons, called shear force. If I know shear force and area, I can calculate shear stress. That's nothing but is the ratio of force and area, force by area, called shear stress. So next step, immediately we try to calculate shear stress with the help of force and area. Force 98.1 Newton, area of plate 0.36 meters square. So finally shear stress value we can calculate like that. Now first objective of the problem, the called dynamic viscosity. Let assume that symbol is mu. Already we know that mu is dynamic viscosity. So what is the relation between dynamic viscosity and tau? Already we have calculated tau. Above that, tau value is mentioned here. So tau is equal to mu du by dy. We know that. In the topic of viscosity, we discussed this. Tau is equal to mu du by dy. Du by dy means rate of shear strain. Tau shear stress. Or du by dy is also called as velocity gradient. Sometimes in the problem they mention like that, velocity gradient. So don't get confused. Tau is equal to mu du by dy. Tau value just now we wrote above 98.1 by 0.36. Mu value we don't know, we have to be calculated. So du value, change in velocity 2.5 meters per second, dy 12.5 in 10 power minus 3, from which we can calculate mu is equal to 1.3635 Newton second per meter square. That is unit of viscosity, Newton second per meter square. Like this we can calculate. Second objective is kinematic viscosity. We know the relation between dynamic and kinematic viscosity. Kinematic viscosity is the ratio of dynamic viscosity to the density of the fluid. Just now we calculated dynamic viscosity. So one unknown value is required to be determined kinematic viscosity, that is density. So we should first of all calculate density. But in the problem, they given specific gravity of the oil 0.95. So if you multiply this value with a standard fluid density called water, then you will be getting density of oil. S into 1000, S means 0.95 given that. So 0.95 into 1000, 950 kgs per meter cube is density of oil. So using this value, I am going to calculate kinematic viscosity. Dynamic viscosity 1.3635 by 950 is density of oil. You get 0.001435 meters square per second. Like this, we can calculate uh, kinematic viscosity. Next class, I will discuss some more problems on viscosity, surface tension, and capillarity. So, which will be useful for examination point of view. Okay, thank you. That's all for today. Thank you very much.